Can I reuse the same screen to put a new design on, or do I have to buy a new screen every single time when I have a new design? This is the screen that I will be reclaiming today. It's the same design that I printed when I showed how to screen print. You guys can check out that video by pressing in the YouTube card here or in the link below. First step is to remove any ink from the screen. And what I would usually do is I would get a squeegee and just scrape off all the ink that I do not use. The ink is now on the squeegee and there's less ink on the screen. And usually I would just scrape it back into the bucket. So you want to get some ink remover, spray it down. I would say like a good 3 to 4 sprays is enough. Grab an old t-shirt or a rag, and then you're simply going to just wipe it down. Normally you can reuse these rags. The goal is to get as much ink off as possible on the screen before you go to the sink. Next, you want to rinse the screen with water, front and back. Once you've taken all the ink out of the screen, you want to use something called an emulsion remover. This blue part is the emulsion. You're going to be spraying a chemical that will soften it up so that when you wash it out, it'll wash away. So you're going to spray it about 4 to 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then you want to grab the scrub brush and begin scrubbing it. And then you're going to turn it around and scrub the back side as well. At this point, the emulsion has all broken down and it's pretty much turned into a liquid state instead of a solid. It really depends on your emulsion remover brand, but for me it takes about 30 seconds. And I'm gonna show you guys 2 ways to clean it. One with a standard garden hose and one with a pressure washer. If you use a pressure washer, you will save a ton of time. It's a lot quicker, but you do need more space and just a little bit more setup. This is the pressure washer and it connects to a hose and the water runs through here. Here's the pressure of the garden hose. As you can see, this half is mostly out. Here's the water of the pressure washer. And as you can tell, that just took a couple of seconds, which is why the pressure washer is a really good investment if you have the space and resources for it. But your standard garden hose will work as well. So technically you do have a clean screen, but we do see some of the ink from the previous print. This is called ghosting, and it's because the oil within the ink has kind of stained the screen. But it's really important that you remove the oils, also known as dehazing, because that can affect your next order. So I'm gonna spray some dehazer, but a little bit more on my print area. That sounds good, about 4 sprays. Then you want to use a scrub pad or a brush that is specifically for degreasing and dehazing. A dehazer is a degreaser, but a degreaser is not a dehazer. So in other words, I only have a dehazer. I don't carry any degreasers in my shop, and that's just because I rather carry one type of chemical instead of 2 separate types. Once you've sprayed it, you can scrub it down. You want to flip the screen. Maybe I'll spray like 2 more. And then you also want to scrub it down. Make sure that you get the corners of the screen, but focus primarily on the design area. As you can tell, the oil and the ink is slowly fading away. And then you want to leave it like that for about, I would say like 30 seconds to a minute. Quick key tip, make sure you scrub the back side of the screen more than the front side, because this is where the ink was laying down. So you want to break down this side as much as possible. So if you look at the screen, you might be able to see like a tiny bit, but for the most part, it's all gone. And so that is a very, very good sign. And once I've washed it, I'm just going to let it dry. And then once the screen is dry, you're gonna coat the screen again, let the emulsion dry, and repeat the entire process over and over and over. If you guys want to watch how I prepare the screen, watch the video right before this one because that's where I show how to start from the beginning to the print end result. A couple tips I want to share before I end this video. Tip number 1, try to consistently wipe down the ink off your screen when you can. But you want to get the ink off as soon as possible off the screen so that the ink doesn't dye the screen. Tip number 2, when you reclaim screens, try to do them in groups. It would be much more efficient. You would save a lot more time and energy. It's better to do like 4, 5, 6, 10 at a time than just doing one. Last tip, if you are dehazing your screen, try to do it right after you remove the emulsion. Sometimes people will remove the emulsion and then let the screen dry, and then they'll try to dehaze the screen, but they'll find that it's really difficult to dehaze, and that's because everything's been dried and kind of locked in. So doing everything at once will be much more efficient, and you'll save a lot more time when it comes to reclaiming screens. With that said, guys, it is getting hot here, guys. I'm sweating so much right now, it's crazy. And I was only in here for like 15 minutes, that's crazy. Anyway, with that said, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up. Let me know if you have any comments or questions in the comment section down below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Over.